I have recently become addicted to Elden Ring, with it being my first Soulsborne game I have ever completed in full. Yes. Bro, why'd you drop out the fucking horse? Suck my fucking balls. Suck my balls, suck my balls, suck my... I've always been interested in Soulsborne and games that are advertised to make you... But there was one game that always caught me up in the hype. That was Cuphead. If you don't know what Cuphead is a run and gun game that was originally released in 2017. Cuphead's base gameplay is boss fights and run and gun levels. The goal is to collect the coins along the way. The coins are how you purchase new weapon types and other upgrades. Boss fights are a boss fight. With this being said, is Cuphead really that hard? Today I hope to find that out. And I hope I don't eat my own words, because that would be very embarrassing. The game starts out with brothers Cuphead and Mugman in King Dice's casino on a big winning streak. Before making their bet, the owner of the casino, the literal devil, shows up and says that if Cuphead wins, he will get all the money in the casino, but if he loses, the devil will get their souls. Mugman, seeing that this is rigged, tries to stop Cuphead. Obviously, Cuphead loses, and the brothers beg to the devil, asking if there's anything they can do. The devil says that they can go and collect the souls of others who are indebted to the devil. Only after this can they be set free. They agree, and here's the start of the game. This old guy here is basically just an exposition character, but is supposed to be their grandpa, I think. I don't really know. His name's Elder Kettle, I think. Hell yeah, gold coins. As we spawn into the map, we immediately tackle our first run and gun level of the game, Forest Follies. The plan and the level are pretty simple. Collect the coins and spam dash. I've memorized this level and okay, well, second attempt. And that never hurt anyone. Let's go. With the first run and gun level down, we can purchase some upgrades. I'm going to purchase the smoke bomb, which allows me to phase through attacks, and then one of the more powerful attacks in the game, the spread shot. I'll let it be coming back for more health, a roundabout, and the charge shot. After that, I'm going into the first boss of the run, Goopy Le Grande. This boss is one of the easiest bosses of the game, with super telegraphed attacks, huge hitbox, and... Fuck. Okay, Oh, no worries. Second attempt this time. Hit a quick dash when he does his jump attacks, duck under his face attack. And that's the second phase. He just gets a little bigger, he does the same thing. Easy. Now he's a background boss. Background bosses are when there's no hitbox for the actual boss, so you cannot take direct damage from it, just the enemies they spawn. This makes it perfect for EX spam, as you can see me doing here, and with that, Goopy should be dead. This brings us to boss number 2 of the run, the Root Pack. I'm not really sure how these guys messed with the devil since they're literal vegetables, but this is a 3-phase boss fight. All the phases are really the same. The first boss, Potato, I don't think it has a name, has a basic attack of spitting objects at you at different speeds. All you have to do is jump the dirt he spits and spam spread shot. Onion, if you shoot him, he cries, and that is the only attack. Avoid his crying by standing right next to him and spam spread shot. The carrot is a little trickier, but not by much. He spawns smaller carrot missiles that follow you and has the laser beams for some reason. Shoot the carrots with your spread shot and simply bait the beam and move out of the way. Spam spread shot, summon EXs, and he goes down. First attempt. Second soul of the game has been collected. After this bosses opens a few more other areas, another boss fight, which we're going to do a little later, because now we're in the first instance of a flying fight. Some bosses are flying bosses, which adds some variety to the fight. With these fights, they completely take away the custom ammo types, and the specials will always be the same. A little bomb or a nuke. The first one of these bosses being Hildaberg, who sort of looks like Betty Boop. I was genuinely nervous for this fight, as I remember having a really hard time with this boss when I originally played her. She has 4 to 5 different phases. Her regular phase is where she sends out the bullets and laughs at you. However, when she does the phase transition, make sure to be careful as you can get hit during this. Her second phase is always Taurus, who also has these little bullets and does a bull charge at your character. This one is pretty simple and very short. When he stops, just move out of the way, use a few AXs, then hit him. This is the same phase, however she now sends a tornado, which is you just simply duck out of the way. But the next phase is where it gets a little interesting. It can either be Gemini or Sagittarius. Both seem hard, but have easy ways to go around it. Gemini only has one attack. They shoot a fireball that shoots out in a circle. It can only shoot in a vertical position, so if you stay in a horizontal to the ball, you will always have time to get out of the way. Sagittarius is sort of the same. It shoots an arrow followed by 3 stars, which pretty easy to dodge. You either shoot one of the arrows or just go to the bottom of the arena, then go in a circle. For Sagittarius, he can't do another attack until everything is gone, and then just keep doing it until he dies. It's now into her final phase. She turns into a giant moon. It's just use your special and do a big amount of damage. After this, just avoid the stars she shoots. She also sends out 2 UFOs. The red one being directly triggered when you pass over it, so just dodge out of the way. And the yellow one I think is more reaction based, so just sort of move around it and then it should just go off and you should be fine. And boom, with that, Hildaberg's done. 3 out of 19 bosses complete. So once we get all those coins, we're going to buy the roundabout and we can get to the next boss. Cagney Carnation. If you know any boss from Cuphead, this is probably it, the giant flower. Cagney has a few attacks. He can spawn these acorns that fall from the sky, so make sure to parry the one that's pink. It is really annoying if you don't. But then he'll either fire a boomerang that usually always stays on top, or the acorns that are tracking. Usually both are pretty easy to avoid, you just have to pay attention to them. But after this, he enters his final phase where he shoots the roots that temporarily disable a platform, like see here. Keep doing the same strategy of shooting roundabout out of the arena so it comes back to hit him. And when he does the root, quickly dash to the available platform, but be careful because you can actually overshoot it and miss, and that's happened to me a few times. But overall, pretty easy boss. 4 out of 19 done. Okay, now onto one of the most RNG-based bosses of World 1. Ribby and Croaks. These 2 frogs are just chilling in the club.
You was at the club, bottoms up when I first met you, couldn't get enough.
Either starts with Croaks spitting flies into the air or Ribby shooting fireballs at you. While there are 2 enemies, they do share the same health bar, so you only have to attack one. As they transition into phase 2, jump over Ribby and then run at Croaks. Croaks will do a tornado attack, which then will make dodging Ribby pretty easy. As the asteroids he throws get closer, simply stop moving and it'll miss you as the wind pushes you back. The final phase begins, and this is why I said it's the most RNG. They will start by shooting those coins at you, but just jump and move and it'll avoid you. Parry to hit the arm, and this is where it kind of gets tricky. There are 3 different attacks that they can send. So there's a snake, a bull, and a tiger. The best pull you can ever get is the bull, and the worst is the tiger. If you get the tiger, you can just shoot off screen with the roundabout like we've been doing, and then just jump through the hoops. But the bull is the best hit because you can just spam the attack until the fire comes out, and you see where the fire's going. Either jump or don't move at all, and then just keep shooting them. And that's free damage is great. I love getting that one. I don't remember what snake is because I don't think I ever got it on my run of this boss. So I have way too much practice on this boss, to say the least. After that, that completes World 1. And with that, we just talk to King Dice about some shit. Go straight into World 2. It's fucking Cuphead time, baby. Once we're in World 2, we immediately go to this fountain and see how many times we've died so far. And go to the first boss of the world, Baroness von Bon Bon. Bon Bon. This is one of the last bosses I've fought before, so after this one and one more, I'm completely new at all these bosses. Bon Bon is a 4-phase boss that uses mini-bosses before her final phase. She has 4 different mini-bosses she can send. A gumball machine, jawbreaker, a waffle, candy corn. This fucking muffin. Fuck this stupid ass mother. After this, you can fight Bon Bon herself. As she transitions, I spammed EXs. Her attack is simple. She throws her head at you and attracts you around the arena and dodge the giant peppermint she throws, and she dies.
Oh, what the fuck? Why didn't it move?
Super simple. I don't know why this took me so long when I first played this game.
Yes, let's go.
Woo!
Oh my god, why was that so hard for me? Thank you.
So with Bon Bon defeated, this brings us to our first new boss of the run, Beppi the Clown. Never face it. But halfway through my attempts, I realized I could just dash through his first attack, and it made it a lot easier instead of trying to jump it and avoid the docks. He takes around 5 to 6 charge attacks to transition into his next phase. During his transition, when he gets into this big balloon, once he turns into the balloon, you can just spam EXs or charge shots before the attack. You can probably get 2 or 3 in. And the most difficult part of this phase is really the balloon dogs. I just couldn't really figure them out until I realized you can just jump and they miss you for the most part. I don't know why these were so hard for me. I just couldn't figure it out. After this, he transitions into a horse girl. So it's either a green horse or a yellow horse. The green horse is a lot easier than the yellow horse. You just kind of keep jumping and stay away from the attacks. When the coaster disappears, you just kind of stay under him and you'll be safe. His last phase is pretty easy. He becomes a background boss, so you can just charge him with charge shots or the spread shot EX. You just take out these right 2 penguins. That makes it a lot easier. If you don't, it's still pretty. It's not too hard. Just use your super like I did. That makes you invincible, and then just wait till he dies. Not that hard of a boss, even though it took me like 20 times because I never played him before. On to Wally Warbles. Wally Warbles. Wally was the last boss I've ever played before, so after Wally, these bosses are my first tries. Wally's a pretty easy playing boss. Actually, so easy, I almost beat him on his first try. I was so close to doing it perfect first try, and then it took me like 15 tries after, but we don't talk about that. Anyways, his first phase, you just dodge his eggs and the bombs he shoots. Try to parry these little birds. That's a easy way to get your charge all the way up. Once that phase is done, the next one seems hard when he shoots all those feathers, but it's really not. You just kind of focus on the one that's right in front of you, and you just move up and down. Don't focus on all the other ones. Just focus the ones that are about to hit you, and it makes it so much easier. After you transition to his next one, his sun pops out, and you just really stay close to him until the eggs close in and you can't get out, so you just shrink out. You can use some bombs or the EXs here to make it a little faster, but when he shoots his gun, make sure to parry him because that's a really, really easy parry to get out. The final phase is pretty easy. He's on the lower half of the level, so transition into the bomb shooting, and you just keep shooting him. As his nurses shoot up the pills, you can really just stay to the left side of the arena for this one. For the most part, you'll get basically all of the attacks you need, and then once they sort of go over to the left, just go into the middle and you'll be fine. It's really easy. With that, Wally Warbles goes down and his nurses perform cannibalism, I guess. I was so close. I was so close to completing Wally as an S grade, and that would have been my first S I've ever gotten in this game, and that would have been so cool. Time to do another boss I've never done before, the dragon, Grim Matchstick. I have heard this is one of the hardest bosses, but I did do it first try. Okay, never mind. Genie time. I don't want to do this right now. Genie time. With the Djimmi, the genie is mostly annoying. His face is super short. His first phase, he sends out his cats, treasure, or sword. Each of them you just dodge and fly around the arena. I would barely get hit this phase. You just kind of keep spamming him until he goes. His phases are super short, so that makes it a lot easier. He then transitions into these pillars, and you just shoot his face, shoot him to continue. The easiest strat is just using the bomb, and it one-shots him, so it's really easy. He goes into his sarcophagus phase next, and his hitbox is super tiny. It's just like the size of him. So you could either start with a nuke and follow him around, or you can use the little bomb attacks. That also works. You just dodge the ghosts, and then the little eyes he shoots out, you just go under it or in between it. Not really hard. And fuck, he has so many phases. I thought this was his last one. He then duplicates Cuphead and sends his hat to follow you. This phase is actually really cute because it's just a mini version of Cuphead. Once he shoots the parryable, make sure to parry it. It makes it a lot easier, and it's just easy parries at the end of the day. And then you can use it into the next phase. The final phase, he spawns 3 pyramids that shoot out lasers in all directions. For the most part, you can really stay in the blind spot of the pyramid, and you'll keep hitting the genie. And that's the shortest phase he has. So, or you can stay in like the right corner and shoot him there, but I didn't do that. And boom, the genie's dead. And with the genie done, it's time to go back to the dragon. His first phase is him shooting his beams or the fireballs. The fireballs either go up first or down first. It's pretty telegraphed once you learn the pattern. You can mostly just jump up and you'll be fine. While he's shooting his fireballs, he does send out his tail that can hit you. Just jump up super high and it usually misses. Second phase is when he gets these like mini fire sprites. Some of them jump up and hit you, so try to anticipate that. You see them like go down before they hit you, so you can tell which ones are hitting you. It's not completely random. But the second phase is really where most of my resets for this boss really came from. His final phase is probably the easiest and the hardest at the same time. He basically turns into King Ghidorah and shoots these orbs at you. But if you accidentally hit one, they break off into 4 separate projectiles, so it can really fuck you over pretty easily. During this, his middle head becomes a flamethrower, so you make sure to just duck out of the way. I did think I was safe a few times, and then it still hit me, so you have to be careful of that. This would be a perfect time to try and get that special 2 where you become invincible and then just spam charge shots. It took me at least probably 30 times, but finally, he goes down. With this, Isle 2 is done. On to Isle 3. This is the farthest I've ever been in this game. And I think we only have one more after this, and which is just hell with King Dice and the Devil. And there's like 6 different fucking bosses in Isle 3, so I'm nervous. For Isle 3, just immediately go past the Queen Bee and go straight to Petey the Pirate. That's not his name, but it's Captain Briny Beard, but I like saying Petey. It's a lot more fun. He's the easiest of the Isle 3 bosses. His first 3 phases are exactly the same. They're just long phases. You dodge the barrel and the projectiles he sends out with this octopus. But he also deploys 3 different enemies, the seals, the shark, or the squid. And they're all really easy to dodge. The squid can be taken out with 1 charge shot. The seals can be taken out with the regular shot of the charge shot. And then the shark, you just get really close to the boat since it doesn't have a hitbox. And just stay there and spam them with either spread shot or charge shot, and it's really easy. After this, the boat starts to shoot cannonballs at you and you just kind of jump over those. The hardest part is when you get trapped by the barrel or the squid comes up and he starts shooting everything at you. That's when it gets a little hard, when more stuff crowds the screen. The boat usually says fuck this at this point and sends Captain flying. After this, the boat sends out these orbs that you can just jump over and then duck his laser and keep shooting at him. This part people think is really hard, but if the barrel is about to jump on you because you're stuck under the laser, you can still dash. You just stay crouched and dash out of the way, and it still does it. And boom! First Isle 3 boss done. I guess now we can either go to Calamaria or the Queen. This is the farthest I've ever been, but the hard part is just starting. I thought this would be a lot easier, but Calamaria is up next. She wasn't a hard boss, but she did take me not too long to complete compared to the next couple of bosses. Maria is another flying boss, and her most annoying aspect was turning me to stone. So at first she has way too many phases and attacks. I got the pufferfish attack where you just dodge and parry, which is really not hard at all. Then she starts to send out her seahorse, which doesn't really do any damage, but it just pushes you into her next attack. She then gets shocked by her eels. This starts her Medusa phase, where she can freeze you in any position. I believe there's a way to block it by dashing, like I said, but I'm unsure of the timing. Her eel pops up and shoots so many projectiles at you. Do not do what I did, where I just dealt with them, because you can actually get rid of them and make your screen way less cluttered and so much easier. She then transitions into Just Ahead, which is her final phase. Again, not a really hard phase. Just save up a few EXs and try and dash when you can, and you're pretty much done. With that, Maria's done. Up next is Sally's Stageplay. And Isle 3 is such a weird level. It has a mix of really easy bosses and some of the hardest in the game. And Sally has like 4 different phases, but it feels like 10 for some reason. I don't know why. It just does not feel like only 4. So Sally's first stage is she just jumps around the screen and occasionally sends her fan at you. She can also do a kiss attack, which you can parry. She really just jumps around the screen, and it's just you trying to avoid her. I use the smoke dash a lot in this first phase and just transitioned between spread shot and charge shot. Next, she gets married and goes off to have a kid, I guess. This baby is the fucking bane of my existence. So this one, again, is not too hard. She sends out these little toy cars that you can just jump over, and you just have to be careful not to get hit when they fall back down. Again, really easy. You can really just spam charge shot here, and in like 5 or 6, she goes down to the next phase. The biggest thing that would kill me here wasn't the baby, it was really these toy cars. They would really mess me over when they would start falling. Like here, I almost got hit by one. I took an unnecessary hit there, really. So she has 3 different phases here. She can either send out lightning, where you just dodge, big wave, where you have to shoot that meteor and then parry over it, or that's really it. You can just charge shot her until she dies, and it's so easy. Her last phase, again, not too hard. She turns into an angel and starts flying above the map. I would definitely use spread shot for this one. Jump over her umbrella and just keep shooting her in the air. It's really not hard. Just keep doing it, dashing in between. Eventually you'll kill her. Or do what I did here and do your super and just stand in one place and keep shooting her. Once you get the hang of all of her attacks, it's really easy. This took me a lot more times than it should have. It took me like 13, but it really shouldn't have taken me that long. Now I'm on to the next boss, which I am scared for because the rest of these bosses are not as easy as these last 2. This is my most dreaded boss fight to date. Queen Bee. This took me at least 50 times to do this. I don't know why it took me so long. It was just such a frustrating fight. I would just reset every single time I ever got hit by this fucking policeman. But God, I hate this fight. I hate her so much. She transitions into her next phase where you actually can fight the Queen Bee. She points down which side of the screen she's going to go on, and she either sends out this ball that tracks you and you can parry over it, or just go to the top of the screen and avoid it. Or she sends out this triangle that also tracks you but shoots out a projectile. She can also go into the middle and send out some bullets that go across the screen, left and right, left to right. This would be the best to try and get this phase last. Her last phase, she pulls out her spell book, I think, and turns into a giant plane. This is not a hard phase, but I don't know why it took me so long, because I would be jumping and then I had to stop and turn down to shoot her because she's at the bottom of the screen, and then I'd accidentally phase through the platform I was standing on and die. It happened to me so many times, and it was the most frustrating thing about this boss. But she either sends out a chainsaw, which you can easily delegate to see which side it's going to and go to the edge of the screen, or she sends out her fists, which can hit you, and you just kind of stay in the middle of the screen, and usually you're fine. You'll see later, but this was probably the most stressed out I've been in a boss fight. But this recording, it's been recording for an hour, just this boss, and I feel like crying, and I have 1 health left. And this has happened to me so many times that I only have 1 health left, and then I get hit and I die. But with this, Queen Bee is done. This was the biggest block for me for the longest time, because everyone said this is the worst boss, so I just didn't want to fight it. But on to the next boss, which is so much easier compared to her. The rat. Wormer Rat. What's his name? Werner Werman. So, this ex-Nazi rat has 2 initial phases. The first one, he goes into his soup can and starts to shoot these bombs at you, and you can just avoid them. You can really just hang at the back of the screen and just kind of jump up. This next phase, where he has flamethrowers in the bottom of his chair, and you just go up and down depending on where it is. You can phase through his chair, which I learned later, because like what just happened, one side of the bottle caps go fully in, so you have to jump and phase through. And the third phase, the cat eats him. Focus on the cat's paws that he just kind of hits, and you just dodge out of the way of where the cat is. run to the other side, and he sends out these like prison rats that you have to shoot. But again, you just kind of focus on the bottom of the screen, keep shooting up with your spread shot, and it's pretty simple. Compared to the Queen Bee, this one took me like 10 tries. Next up is Dr. Cal. To get into Dr. Cal's next transition, you have to kill 3 different things on the robot first. His antenna, his chest, and his stomach. Usually I started with the antenna, and I go up and use his bomb attack. The bomb attack you get after fighting someone in Aisle 2, I forgot. After you do a little damage to his heart, make him have a heart attack, he transitions into his next phase, where he shoots his head at you. This phase is just kind of annoying, really. Goes back and forth around the map, and you have to just keep shooting him until you do enough damage and he does a next transition. Next is his final phase. Dr. Cal pops out and starts shooting all these projectiles at you while these walls start going up and down. You just stay in one position, go up and down, and really focus on the ones that are closest to hitting you. But with that, finally, Dr. Cal is done, and we're on to the Ghost Train. This train was another one of the bosses I was super afraid for because of how many bosses you have to fight and just how annoying it looked when I would watch gameplay of. The first boss you fight in this Ghost Train saga is this ghost. I recommend Peace Shooter and Spread Shot for this boss fight. So you really just keep shooting him while shooting these fucking flying jack-o'-lanterns that parry your track to go the other way. The second phase is not too hard. You transition to this giant skeleton. 2 hands that try and smash you on the track, and you just shoot its head to kill it. Next up comes these clocks, I think, that shoot lightning out, as well as shooting little ghosts out that try to kill you. The easiest one for this is go to the end of your screen and sit in the corner so you avoid their lightning, and then go to the other side and do the exact same thing with the other one. This is where I would have the most deaths. The train itself gets pissed off and tries to kill you. So you'd have to parry its tail and then shoot its heart when the furnace opens. Avoid the fireballs that are coming out of its chest. There's just a lot of stuff to keep track of. Now keep doing spread shot and the train should go down. This one took me a lot longer than I thought it would. Again, this was a really hard boss for me just because of how many little mini bosses it had. With this boss done, we are on to Inkwell Hell. Holy fuck. I have never been to Inkwell Hell before this playthrough. The farthest I've gotten would really be Aisle 2, and then I gave up. So, this is entirely new territory for me. I've seen so much gameplay of both of these bosses, so I kind of had a strategy, but oh my god, did I not realize how hard it would actually be. I struggled on King Dice so much, I almost thought about not even making this video. Main premise is that he gets his dice, and you try and hit it to get to the boss that you want. You have to fight all the bosses before him, before you actually get to King Dice. My strategy was go for the ones that had an extra heart. Usually it was 3, 5, and 8. 7 or 8. Because those are the easiest bosses, and usually they're the ones with the hearts on them. And then try not to restart and get to the final boss. For number 3, it is a cigar. This one is not too hard. All you do is charge your charge shot and shoot him. And for his little fireballs that he shoots out, you can go to the center of the ashtray or jump over him and go back to the front and you'll avoid him. And then smoke dash to the other side when he starts to move and repeat that until he dies. Then I got the 4th boss, which is dominoes. Charge shot, jump over the spikes, and every time you jump, shoot your charge shot. Really simple. Usually wouldn't take damage on this one. Then I got a bad roll and got number 6, which is the horse. Again, not a hard boss. I would just take unnecessary damage from the ghosts. There are blue ghosts that fire up into the air and try and kill you, while he sends out his little present box to send you horseshoes. This wasn't too hard. I would mostly dash out of the way and try not to get hit by the ghosts. And number 7 is what I got next. This is a roulette table. One of the easiest bosses you can get right next to 8. make sure you have smoke dash equipped, because all you do is dash right through her, hit her with a charge shot, dash to the other side, hit her with a charge shot, and when she sends the balls up into the air, dash to the left corner of the screen after they fall down, hit her with a few charge shots, and she goes down. Now here's the hard part. You have to roll a 3, and then a 3 or a 2, so you don't get restarted. The amount of times I have started over and had to get perfect rolls so I didn't fight any more bosses was insane. After that, you are finally on to King Dice. For the longest time, I had no idea how I was supposed to hit the parries on the cards. I knew how to parry. I just wasn't timing the parries right, or I would spam my jump button, which isn't how you do it. And I saw a comment that said you tap every single time, and that helped me so much. Hitting the parries at the right time like I was supposed to. This was one of the most stressful boss fights I have had, and we're not even on the devil yet. But oh my god, this first time was a pain in the fucking ass. Finally, King Dice goes down. Yes! And we're on to the final boss of the game, the devil. Shit. Oh my god. Holy fuck, I was recording, right? Oh, thank fuck. Oh. The amount of attempts I've had on this devil are fucking insane. I wish I tracked how much attempts I had before I went into Inkwell Hell and then after, just to see how many times I died on this motherfucker. Because I will have to count every single time I died, just for the video. This first phase, he can do one of 4 things, I think. He can make his head turn into a goat, which he then claps in the middle of the screen, and you can jump over with a good time jump, or jump and dash if you're a little clumsy like I am. That one is usually not too hard, but I would take so many stupid hits on this boss. Guy has too many phases. Next thing he does is summons one of 3 things. Either a circle that follows you around, balls that bounce around the map, or things that trap. For the circle, you parry in the middle, dash out, and then just go to the corner of the screen and jump over it and it'll go away. The bouncing balls, you can really just stay in the middle and dodge them while they're going back and forth. And the tracking ones, you just jump over. Next, he can take his head and shove it across the map, and you have to run to the other side, make sure not get hit by it. The thing that would fuck me over on this one is if a little devil came out on the side I was going to and I didn't have enough time to shoot him, I would take damage from that. One of the simplest attacks he ever does. He takes off his head, he makes it into a spider, and starts slamming it down on the floor. While he does that, all you have to do is run to the other side, have a little charge shot, turn around really quickly, and shoot him with the charge shot, run to the other side, and do the same thing. It's not too hard. With that, he finally transitions into phase 2. During this phase, he turns into a spooky, scary skeleton and jumps down into hell. He has 2 attacks. He sends out an axe that follows you, and you can just go to the left 2 platforms and stay there until it goes away and go back into the middle and start shooting. And then he sends out a bomb, which is parryable, and parry it the second he sends it out, or else it'll explode, and I've taken some damage from it when I shouldn't have. The next phase is fun. He starts to cry, and you get a few free hits onto the boss, and he spawns these 2 goons on the left and the right side of the screen, and my strategy, I went to the left, killed that one, and then just stood there and shot in the air, and he should go down. During his last phase, he turns into a giant baby and starts to cry, leaving only 1 platform left. You have to dodge his tears while jumping over the poker chips. This is his shortest phase, but I would always die right before we finished. Let's go! And with this, Cuphead is officially beaten.
Dude, I could have S-classed him.
Are you fucking kidding me? I could have S-classed him.
Holy fucking shit.
Look at them all. Look at all the bosses I fucking killed. I fucking did it. I fucking did it. Nine years later, 8 years later, I finally fucking beat this game. I'm 22 now, and I finally fucking beat it. Let's go! Oh my god.
And with that, this video is finally over. My official playtime is 22.3 hours. My official death count is 540 times. I cannot believe I finally finished it. It's been 7 years since the initial game has released, and in that time, at least 3 different playthroughs, I've always gotten to the second island and given up after Bon Bon. I finally beat her on my Switch, and then I just stopped playing. It wasn't until I started watching more Cuphead videos that I realized maybe I should actually finish this game. I beat Eldenring, I might as well finally try to beat Cuphead. This is a very long and fun video to make. It was very frustrating at times, but I really enjoyed making a longer type video when it comes to gaming. My childhood is being relived. I'm having fun again playing games after giving up Call of Duty, finally getting back into the games I used to play when I was a child, and actually being skilled enough to beat them now. Cuphead is an amazing game. It is so fun, and even if you get annoyed at it sometimes, once you realize how to beat a boss, it is the most rewarding feeling. Again, this was such a fun video to make, and I can finally delete the 120 gigabytes of footage this video is taking up. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. But with that, thank you for watching, and peace.